everyone. I wanted to do a very quick lesson, if you will, on what your take-home folders are going to look like, or what your child's take-home folders are going to look like. On the inside, you will have several works, which I've laid out here. It's going to be located inside your weekly take-home kit, and this will be sanitized. These are things that your child see every week in the classroom. We have our push pinning work, and I have instructions here. The actual push pinning work is going to be in your kit here, in a little envelope. It gives you instructions. This is your child's cutting work. You'll have scissors on the inside and inside of your kit. They love cutting, especially our 3-year-olds and our 4-year-olds. Even your kindergartners will love doing this if they're just not sure what to do, if they feel like a little bored maybe. I don't like using that word. However, if they do feel that or you sense that, you can set this up on a tray. In our classroom, we have little trays like so. And it would be like so on your tray with your scissors, and they can carry it to their table, or it can already be on the table ready for them to use, and this can be very enticing for them. I think that it will help ground them and to be able to do this whenever they'd like. And some of our younger kids, our 3s and our 4s, will literally go through, they'll just do it over and over and over again. And that is fine. That is what we're looking for. If that is what you want. If they want to cut all of the work that we send home, here's strips. These are straight lines. This helps them use their scissors and cut in a straight line. It's going to strengthen their grip. You might want to help them adjust their fingers so that their two fingers slide through accordingly. I should have had my scissors out so that I can show you. But I think it's going to be pretty intuitive for you to guide them. So once you guide them and get their position, you're just going to want to walk away and just let them do that. You will not need to oversee your 4-year-olds and your 5-year-olds. Your 3-year-olds maybe stick by a little bit so that you can make sure that their fingers don't get caught, and so on. So this is our handwriting and tracing work. Miss Sydney has made a packet for you here, and this is going to be your scavenger hunt for looking for sounds. So we wrote some examples down, and you can have your child, if they are writing, you can have them write those words. If they don't write, it's okay. You can go outside, you can go in their bedroom, around the house, and for example, let's find the B sound. Let's find objects that begin with the B sound or the A sound. You're going to want to say that sound for them, A, B, K, D, E, and so on. And they don't need to write it. They can just collect the objects and put them in a basket. You could take a picture if you want and upload it, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. That's going to be on page 3 of here. So that's their scavenger hunt. You can create a sand tray for them, and the purpose of our sand tray is for letter formation and number formation, and we actually have sandpaper tiles that we use with the sand tray. You won't have those, however, you can, I'll be sending home the letter formation on a worksheet for them to reference. Also, they can look at their name, and they can sort of orient mentally and be able to create their letters in the sand. And so there's going to be a picture on how to do this. You just want to get a little tray, maybe a baking dish, and you can put salt in it. You can just buy over-the-counter salt and just dump it in. It only needs to be maybe a 1/4 inch thick, and they can do that and trace. You don't need to hover, you don't need to remind them how to make the letters. It's just for them to go through the process and to feel like they have a sense of control over their work. And if they're happy and engaged, they're gonna be fine. You can go to this, we've put a link here on how to make our proper letters so that your child can watch it with you. It's just to music, and so you'll be able to view that together. You can even put it on for them to watch independently if you have something to do, and I think that that'll take up a good couple minutes for them to absorb. The last page is, it's called Little Bird Tales, and Miss Sydney has signed up our school, so your child will have access to our school account, and this is for storytelling. And they will be able to, if they want to tell a story, make books, they can narrate their own story and save it on to Little Bird Tales, and the instructions are here. So if they want to take pictures of what they created, for example, when you were doing your scavenger hunt with letter sounds, they can take pictures of what they found and then maybe take a picture of them holding the basket and upload it onto Laniakea Tales, which is at Little Bird Tales. So this will be something that we use between now and the end of the year for us to see your child's work and for them to have a sense of pride and accomplishment that they can have a place for their end product. For geography, this week we're going to send home the map of the United States. They can color it in. These colors correspond with our puzzle maps in our classroom. So a lot of our older kids know and they like to match those colors. That's really important for them. And then our threes will often resist that and say, I want to do it. I want to do my own colors. And that is totally fine. So we usually start with 3 pencils and at a time. And we lay them out. If they're 4 and 5, we go by our age. So if you're 4 years old, you can have 4 pencils and you can use those. If you want to trade one out, you would walk over to the metal inset cabinet or our language shelf and you would trade out the pencil. In this case, they're going to be working on their own. So if you want to put out a few pencils in a tray for them so that it doesn't roll off, where they can just work, they can ask you, I wouldn't put more than 5 out. And then they can ask you if they want to exchange a color. Again, if you sense a power struggle there, if something doesn't feel right, just let them have a handful of pencils, it's fine. For our zoology, we're beginning our studies, our classes of vertebrates continues with fish. We're still going to be working on birds, so if I send home a bird work, you can, that'll be a nice review for your child, or you can even do new things, but this is parts of the fish. And we have several works in our classroom, but we obviously can't send them home unless it's one at a time. So you will have a book that is going to be sent home, I think, with Luana first, and then we'll change it out. But in the meantime, you can just read the parts of the fish to your child and they can color it in. For our math works, this is our short bead bars, not actually, but we made paper bead bars and laminated them. So your child can keep this. They're going to be disorganized when you bring them home. So when you pop this open, you're gonna put, starting from 1, 2, 3, and so on. 9 will be at the bottom right. So you can help your child organize those, and then they're gonna be able to use these for coloring the bead stair. They're gonna know what this work is. You can help them write their numbers. They can do it. They can orient here if they need to. And once they write their numbers on the tile, they can color their short bead bars. And for reference, their short bead bars will be here. They will have their pencils that match the bead bars in here. The only number that we don't have is 10, but for this work, it's 1 through 9. We don't have gold color pencils, but our kids know how to create gold using brown and yellow. For those who are working on static and dynamic edition. This is static, so they can color the bead bars and put out their add-ins and to find their sum. And this is pretty self-explanatory. So that's for our math. We talked about handwriting. They love this work. You're going to be sent home a dry erase board. This is a great extension work. It's going to have their own marker, and we don't have an eraser, but if you just get a paper towel, in this case, you might want to reserve or conserve your paper towels and use maybe a washcloth or a sponge, a dry sponge. This is an extension work for them to practice numbers, letters, writing their name. If they want to draw pictures, that's fine. That's a valid work. So this will be in here. So that's what's going to be in your folder this week. I'm going to create another video on some of the other practical life contents as well as art in the next video. Thanks.